Good notes. Just a quick disclaimer, this is not the only way to take notes. These are a few helpful suggestions, particularly if you are newer to adjudicating, but you don't have to follow any of these. Should you write or type your notes? Personally, I like to type my notes, but I know lots of different adjudicators use different methods, and either is fine. I would recommend using different colors or having a highlighter available if you're going to write, and then you can change the color or bold or underline things when you're typing. How much should you be writing down, and what is it that you should be noting? So there's no hard and fast rule here, and it's really about working out what suits you. I know some adjudicators who don't like to write many notes. Personally, I type, so I do type down a lot of things. I will do this so that I have almost a copy of the debate. Obviously, I won't necessarily repeat things that the same speaker says in my notes, but it does help because it means that I'm able to see clearly everything that's been raised by the speakers, and then I have their language that they've used. So then in the oral adjudication, I can use that language when I'm referring to the points that have been raised, which makes it easier for novices to understand. I will also use a different color when I'm typing to have some comments noted alongside the things that I've written the speakers said. It's important to note that the main thing here is not how much you track, but what is going to be important is how much you need to support you in giving your oral adjudication and the personal feedback. So make sure the notes are supporting those purposes. In terms of what you should be noting, again, you really just want to be supporting the oral adjudication and the personal feedback through your notes. So you want to note down maybe how they structured things, obviously what they've been saying, the points that they've raised, characterization, and rebuttal is also important to note down, looking at the themes that they've raised and how their points have interacted with the others. Also look for whether or not the teams have weighed up the issues in the debate for you. But really, just having the key aspects of what makes your oral adjudication and your personal feedback possible is what you want to have noted down. A useful thing to do while you're watching the debate is also to make notes on personal feedback. This can be done while you're listening to the speakers so that you're aware at the end of the debate of the certain things that you might want to raise to them if they come and see you for personal feedback. The reason why tracking personal feedback as you go can be really helpful is it can save you time later, and also you're noting down things as they spring into your mind, which means that you're able to have a clearer picture of what that specific speaker said and what they might need to do in the future or they could have done in this debate to improve. Another thing to consider while the debate is going on is the speaker scores. Keeping an eye on where speakers might rank within their teams as well as within the debate overall can be useful in assisting you to compare the speakers and then work out speaker scores more clearly at the end. It's also useful because sometimes you can end up forgetting how important perhaps the first speaker might have been in giving a lot of the content which remained important throughout the debate. So tracking speaker scores as you go is a way to make it easier on you at the end when you're trying to calculate those speaker scores. The facial expressions that you have while you're adjudicating are something to keep in mind, particularly when you're watching a novice tournament. Facial expressions can sometimes indicate when you don't agree, when you agree, or when you think something being said doesn't make any sense. While these can be helpful in some instances, be careful that your facial expressions are not discouraging or causing discomfort among any of the speakers.